So, welcome everyone to the first panel discussion by PostQode team. And the panel discussion topic today is AI meets quality engineering, artificial intelligence meets quality engineering. And I'm so happy to have Toni Ramchandani, Mahesh Mallikarjunaiah, and Nithya join us with their wonderful expertise, experience across different domains. And right here as well, we see a good diversity. Uh, Nithya comes from Dell Technologies, e-commerce, retail, all of those backgrounds. And then Tony has written a book on AI, Gen AI, and then Mahesh, you must see his LinkedIn posts. Every day you can learn something on the technology side from him. So it's wonderful to have not just the panelists, but also the audience. We are slowly touching more than 20 folks. And, the topic is such that AI meets QE, artificial intelligence meets quality engineering. It's something that we cannot do justice within 45 minutes, right? But then that's what we'll try to do for. We'll see if we can pick few questions, not all. We'll pick few questions, but go very deep in that. So let's get started. The first question I have in mind, and this is open for all three, maybe we'll start with Mahesh, is how has AI transformed the way software testing is conducted? What are your thoughts?
Thanks, Ajay, for the question. First and foremost, AI is a $1 trillion market. The opportunities with AI, not just with AI with testing is also massive opportunities, right? We've been defining all our roadmap. We've been, looking at vision, how we can align with, everything with AI, right? There have been a lot of talks going on where, a lot of people have been saying, if you're starting a new company today, don't start without an AI co-founder, right? Likewise, if your testing is very important, and if you are establishing a big testing services or whatsoever to do with testing, don't start without an AI testing leader, right? I mean, that is how important AI is, and that is how AI is transforming the software testing today, right? So transformation has just started. I mean, we still have a long way to go. It has transformed the roadmap. It's been, transforming the way we've been conducting testing at a larger scale or whatnot, right? Just picture this, where, you have your requirements ready, right? And everything that you got to do with testing, all the way from requirements to the code that gets deployed on the production environment, right? I mean, there could be AI agents where, performance test one agent, functional automation testing one agent, accessibility testing one agent, right? Everything autonomously comes together, does its job, and just completes it and delivers what you need, right? So that's the kind of transformation I'm looking at, in software testing.
Got it. So you're talking about agents, autonomous agents taking care of different tasks and quality criteria. And then the one line that I'll remember is if you're starting now, don't start with AI leaders. And a gentle request to everyone. Let me just mute. Yeah, we are all good. So with that, Nithya, what's your thought on how AI is transforming software testing landscape?
So AI, according to my experience so far, it has made a lot of our job easier, be it in writing the test cases, even the manual test case writing and automation test case writing. It has made it more easier and also more enjoyable. A lot of people find that coding is easier, coding is enjoyable now. Automation is much more easier. A lot of troubleshooting has reduced, debugging has reduced. It has made it more easier and troubleshooting, but then we don't have sufficient tools today, which is up to the mark. That's a gap that we have today. That lot of tools that we say, be it a AI-powered lot of testing tools, there are a lot of gaps, which is not self-healing or low-code creation test tools. It's not up to the mark currently. So, but the future, the way it is progressing, it's bright. That we can see a lot of this gaps getting addressed, and even the agents, as Mahesh mentioned, autonomous, and it goes test everything that the testing would do, be it test case creation and defect logging, prediction of the defects, and even logging the defects, and all those things it can do autonomously with proper supervision. I think it would be a great thing in the testing to have.
Got it. Thank you. So that is good to hear that it's making our job easier, work easier, and at the same time, you need some supervision to ensure that things are on track. So, Tony, what's your thought? How is AI transforming? Whether is it even transforming, or what do you think all about this?
Yeah, so Ajay, thank you for the introduction and this opportunity, first of all. And I would like to welcome everybody. So, speaking about two major use cases which Nithya and Mai spoke about. One is the generative part, right? Test case generation, plan, strategy, right? Everything, it can work with you, a kind of a co-pilot, and you can create those documents. The second aspect which Mai spoke about is the AI agents. Okay. Um, now, before I even say about whether it's transforming or not, or has started or not, I wanted to tell this audience that if something which is, so how I assess anything, okay, that's important. So when you speak about, we all are like mid-age people, right? 30s, 40s, somewhere, right? And we all have seen what was the internet in our childhood, maybe when we were teenagers, right? Somewhere. And then how it transformed, right? It took few years to get what it was or it is now as powerful, right? And we are thinking about web 3 and web 4, whatnot, right? So to assess anything, I believe you must first of all understand that 3 to 4 parameters. One, whether it is solving real world problems or not. Internet does this, right? So as AI, it is solving our problems. Like, it's not there, to be very honest. It's just started, and you can see like people are already talking about jobs are going out, and some people are saying there will be more jobs. We can only see one AI model has changed the game, crashed the market and everything, like DeepSeek I'm talking about. So it is impacting life, it is solving the problems, right? It is accessible. So that's where I see it's a big thing, which is apart from the internet is what was a very big thing in my life, and now this is, and all of us, right? So that's where I assess it in the first place. Now, coming to answer, this is just a thing I wanted to tell everyone, that it is not going anywhere, it is going to stay there, and it is impacting. That's why I wanted to highlight this, the importance of this. Now, coming to how it is transforming the QA, right? So first and foremost thing is, I believe when generative AI was there in the initial phase, when Transformer and all those stuff, Google research and then OpenAI worked on that Transformer model. So I felt that in QA, till the point of generative AI, there were limited use cases, right? Because in QA is more of action oriented, right? More of action oriented. You need to go do something um, to produce the outcomes, or to showcase, or to find, or to break other systems, right? That's how I see QA, right? It's more action oriented rather than document oriented, although documentation is part of it, but not to extent, right? I am not going to say that if I only document and that's why I'm QA. No, I cannot be, right? I have to be breaking things, I have to be more action oriented. Now, that was the thing lagging, and back then, right, in generative AI, like 1 year or 6 months back. Now then, crew AI, which is more agentic in nature, break the market in terms of not that break, but kind of they started doing something, and then everybody understood that what is the problem. Now I'll tell you, um, to create agents, I'll tell you many libraries like browser use and agent QL and many of them. Lavig is there. All of them are using Selenium or Playwright somewhere in their kitty, so that they can more make AI as AGI in a way, right? So they want to solve problems, and those will be solved by agents only, right? And agents will bring together to become an AGI, artificial general intelligence, which everybody wants to go. So when I say transforming, in a way, it's both ways. It's helping, basically automation tools are helping AI to become what they want to see it. And secondly, QA will become byproduct because these researches are going on tools like Selenium Playwright. As a result, you can see browser use. You can just write a command and boom, you can book a flight, right? So that's what action you are doing. So it is again, as Nithya rightly said, it is still not there because you cannot trust it 100%, but it will become, more solid when you go in the when it, because it's on the right direction. It just matter of time, and that's how it is in shaping the industry in a way. So I have explained from both the points: one, how QA is help, or automation rather, may not be QA, but automation tools, how they are helping to achieve to make AI far better. And at the same time, the other side of the coin would be that how the automation will be a byproduct of this anyway, right? So because that's where we are headed. So that's how I see the current market until next 2 to 3 years. That's what I see at this point of time.
Got it. Got it. So no, that's interesting in terms of automation feeding AI. Yeah, I'll touch upon that later, maybe one-on-one as well. And next question, Nitya, in terms of we saw in terms of how the industry, how AI is transforming, not transforming, it'll take time, all of that. Now, with so many people in this discussion, and we saw in the chat as well that some of them are saying that they have not yet started learning about AI, right? So, what do you think are the key skills that they should learn or they should focus their efforts on to be relevant in this world where AI is slowly, if not taking over, will soon take over, maybe in 2 3 years time, right? What skills should they focus on now?
So all the fundamental skills, as a QA, the fundamental testing skills and the domain skills definitely stays there, and that will become the key, and also the creative thinking, out of the box thinking, because AI is totally based on the data, and every business is solving unique problems. So we have unique problems to solve in every definite business sectors. So the domain skills will become key, and the creative thinking, out of the box thinking, exploratory testing, all will stay. So apart from that, effective use of AI powered testing too, that's one thing will definitely be the key. And also keeping ourselves up to date with the latest changes, because the way the AI is emerging or progressing is it's very fast. So keeping us up to date on a daily basis, what are the changes and what are the updates that's happening in the industry is very important. And also, as testers in past, also not only that we have been in testing, we have been involved in many tools creation or solutions building. So it's good if we upskill ourselves into even building and using AI as such. Also, that will definitely help. But like having the AI skills and upgrading ourselves is going to be key, and that's going to be there in every job profile going forward, as part of my observations.
Got it, got it. So that should give a lot of confidence to many folks, as well as it's not that you cannot ignore AI. You have to embrace it, and it's high time that we all embrace it. So Tony, three top skills that I should go focus on, for example, if someone is asking
So
your perspective.
yeah, skills. See, Nitya already covered a lot of it. I would like to add, because I'm not going to repeat those, but what I feel is, first of all, be street smart. Okay, that's what I can say to you, right? Be open-minded, be street smart, which is going to help you, as Nitya mentioned correctly, that um, every problem or a challenge is different in itself or unique in itself. Otherwise, one company and that's all the world was done, right? For every problem, there's every different solutions. So be street smart. Second thing, focus on building logics rather than understanding the languages or the models. Many a times people talk to me saying, okay, why I'm not starting AI? Because every day I open news or something like that, somebody is saying they launch this, they launch that, they launch that, and I'm just lost. I don't have a clear vision what to do, right? So that's where I think building logic is more help you understand, right? If you understand them that okay, they are building this, but why, right? So considering O3, which OpenAI launched, right, and then uh, DeepSeek, right? So they did things differently, and that's where they are now market runners, and right, and it's not something magical. They just went through the whiteboards and they discussed that this is the genuine way of creating the models, but now what else can we do when we do, right? So they think of like reinforcement learning to be introduced over there. Now this is just two things: building logic or applying logic and become street smart, right? And the third thing is, obviously, I feel is, if you are not spending 2 to 3 hours reading or experimenting or implementation, however, right, everybody's interest is different. For me, I do read books. I read a lot of them, okay, and as soon as I have time, I just, instead of opening any Facebook or Instagram kind of thing, I just read things, right? So that's how, um, this helps me now. if if you do these three things over the period of time, you will realize that it is compounding, right? It is not kind of, if I do a narration of simple interest and compound interest, right? So you will always find, if you are constantly learning, like, may not be like, I'm not saying that you go in 8 hours a day, no, just 4 hours a week or 3 hours to, or however is your capacity, right? Or you have to plan that capacity accordingly. This is going to be, this is going to produce the compounded result for you, just like money.
Yeah.
And for some people it may be in for 1 month, but for many it may take 3 months, 4 months. But you don't have to leave that. If you leave that, you won't get the compounded benefits, which is a competitive benefit against, which will talk in terms of your salary, your competition, how ahead you are. So I think these three things will always help you, and at any cost.
Very nice in terms of be open and keep at it till you get the compounding effect at play. Nice. So Mahesh, a question to you in terms of, how can we integrate AI into test automation frameworks? Like, are people even doing that? If yes, how? Or should we not do that? Should we build everything from scratch? What's your thought?
I think there is a massive opportunity in terms of integrating AI with test automation framework, right? I mean, the way I would look at test automation framework, it is just not functional automation that we are looking at. I think we should also consider performance, accessibility, security, UI, functional, I mean, whatever you want to fit in, right? That becomes a part of automation framework, right? That's first thing. And the second thing is, when you are building an enterprise level, highly scalable test automation framework, right? There are a lot of things that you'll have to deal with, right? Like test data, serverless, various testing type, governance, analytics, ROI, and a lot of other things, right? So the first and foremost thing, what is important is any individual should be able to understand, what forms an HDLC, go deep into that, understand the CI/CD and everything. Why am I telling this? I'm telling this because if you can spot the opportunity, then you can figure out how do I leverage AI to, optimize it, right? Or accelerate, right? If you're unable to even spot the opportunity, you're going to be missing out on how do I leverage the AI, right? In integrating and improvising the automation framework, right? So first and the foremost thing is spot the opportunities, right? So that is very, very important. And also look at, I mean, these days, you could, write your BDD test scripts, TDD or model-based or observability test scripts, using generative AI, right? I mean, that becomes easier. That has become easier, right? And also using NLPs to write your automation scripts, right? So all those capabilities are going to, help you integrate with your test automation framework. Like another example, right? Let's assume that you have an application ready where you need to run a load test for 100 users, right? So with just AI capabilities using just NLP, right? You can say that prepare everything and run a test for 100 user test, right? So that way, it's going to prepare a 100 user infrastructure for you to test data, since performance testing is a data guzzling activity, test data, all realistic test data ready, right? And it's going to take care of, auto correlation, generating the performance scripts, running on the actual infrastructure and dynamically, changing the infrastructure as needed, right? So all those aspects are going to become reality, right? So definitely there is a massive, massive opportunity, right? It could be test data, it could be infra, it could be analyzing the reports, it could be, realistic test data preparations, identifications of for example, security vulnerabilities, performance bottlenecks. Imagine where, somebody had to go through a report of CPU profiling, thread details, to find the hotspots, right? AI can do it in, much, much faster pace, right? I mean, it's all about, how do we leverage all those things, right? So, before AI also we used to do observability based testing. So that's also going to optimize and improvise, right? So there would be massive, massive opportunities. So to keep it short, spot the opportunities. If you cannot spot the opportunity, you're going to miss out on how you can leverage the, what you can, what you can use for test automation integration.
That was a lot. Huh? Looks like Mahesh would use AI first and then see where all I can use AI and then be super productive, super efficient. Yeah, way to go. So Nithya, with folks like Mahesh using AI to the fullest, maybe, right? And as QA, as quality engineers, how do we trust or how do we validate the output of AI with so much of AI baked into our day-to-day tasks? If not now, then slowly in the near future, with so much of AI baked in, how do we trust the output? What should we do?
It is very similar to how do we evaluate the effectiveness of automation, right? It's totally based on the return of investment. So how much you invest in building that and how much you are using it, that's a return of investment. The same case applies here as well. That effectiveness of AI is how much you are invested and how much you are returned, how much you are able to use it effectively, how much the manual efforts it's reducing. So by calculating the proper return of investment, definitely we can get the effectiveness or evaluate the effectiveness of a particular AI solution.
Good, thank you. So, Tony, on the same lines, what Nithya answered about ROI of AI, how to trust the outcomes of AI. I know you have a course on validating the AI outcomes, right? Any thoughts on how to validate AI outcomes?
Yeah, see, it's more of your question, like ROI perspective you are saying, right?
Like, how
Not
do I trust the output of an AI? To what level? How do
okay.
I skill myself to be capable of, okay, can I'm validating the output in the right manner. What should I do to learn that?
Yeah, so first of all, see, there are two ways, right? One is, see, AI is big, and we all know, right? What I feel and how I see AI and validation part is, AI is too big, right? So over there, not everybody can build AI. Okay, that's for sure. Um, more people, only 10%, let's say, can build for argument's sake, and 90% will be the receiver side of it, right? Either you can build on AI or you can use the AI, right? So while using the AI, and because a lot of things are not a more of a, it's a black box, right? So first and foremost thing, it is very difficult to validate, and there is no direct answer. That's what I tell my in my course as well. It's not that I'm doing any false promise. So there's very difficult to validate. Although, um, if I see AI and you want to perform any white box testing on top of it, right? So first you have to understand the dynamics of it, and then you understand how to implement libraries like Shap, Lime, and there are Fairness 360, something like that. And okay, and these are the few libraries. There will not be a single solution for that. You need to tailor made according to your need. That's why I said you need to understand how to build logic, right? And uh, the second part is when you are testing the code generated by AI or the text or the test data, right? So you need to apply brute force kind of a technique, right? Which which will help you to validate outcome your AI models. Like let's say when you are doing the chatbot testing, right? So you will say, "Hi, my name is Ajay, and I want to buy this car." Let's say, okay, you are talking to a chatbot. Now, uh, you will say that maybe this is one question you are putting on chatbot, right? And or a test case rather. Now you have to negate this. Okay, I am not Ajay, let's say, and I don't want to buy a car, right? So you need to understand that how the model is behaving on just putting a negative sentence over there along with a positive. So practically, to be honest, when you do it manually, it is not possible. There can be thousands of permutation, thousands of combination, right? But you need to be selective on a few test cases which your chatbot is doing. It's selling car, right? So there could be something which there are some boundaries which you must decide, and then on top of it, again, you need to use LLM as a judge only, right? That will generate test data for you on the kind to do the brute force you apply on your chatbot, right? And that's how you validate. It is not 100% kind of a solution which will give you, but it can secure your end results, right? And you are in a way automating it anyway, because what you're doing is you are just writing 10, 12 test cases, and then you are telling an AI model to write similar or permutation combination of them. Um, that is one portion. The second, the I would say the third and maybe the last portion would be human in loop, right? So you always have something which may not be for everything, but where you feel like some chatbots, right, where they are not able to answer, right? They give call to, or they arrange a call with somebody, right? So that's how for now it is working fine. um, Libraries like Giscard is there, Nvidia's Garrick, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but
Products.
those are more of, yeah, those are more of the few libraries which will help you. But again, there is no silver bullet solution, because for what model say, right? What model is going to say you that I am 83% or 87% good, right? But in what sense, right? They are not disclosing that, or maybe in their paper they do, but are they telling you their evaluation basis on each and every aspect? No, they don't, right? Maybe they'll tell you on this data set we tested, and that's how it looks like, right? So more or less, I see evaluation is different from testing. Okay, evaluation is something, let's say your school is passed by 90%, right? But first standard, all of them were failed, right? And that's where the 10% belongs. So all the parents of first standard will say that, oh no, this is not a good school, right? But rest of them are saying it. So how would you evaluate? That is different thing. And how do you test it? That's completely different thing. And that's how so far it is uh, tested in a way. And there could be some innovations which were going on, and that's where we are researching and trying to understand how or where the world is moving upon.
See, an interesting point that you highlighted, and we all need to continuously keep that in mind, is evaluation and then on a scale. the denominator we don't know, and 80% of what? Is 80 good in which context, right? Is 60 good? In some places, 60 might be good, right? So nice points. So Nithya, one more question on how can, say, the QA leaders, right? QA leaders adapt to this change where AI is coming into our lives, especially in testing across tasks. What can QA leaders do and what should they do?
As a leaders, it's very important that we work on the mindset of the people, because we've been 1 year into the Gen AI and adoption, and we've been telling teams to adopt it, but there's a huge gap in the mindset shift of adopting it. So that's where the leaders have to really play the role of getting that mindset shift in terms of using AI for every task. So that's where the readers can play a huge role. They themselves have to definitely upskill. Plus, they have to motivate the team members to use AI for every solutions. Yeah, as an organization which I'm working on, we have been tracking it and we are seeing a lot of gaps. Though there's a tool that's available as an assistant, that's not an effective usage is not there. So if they are able to think, where and how every hour the team members are able to think that I can use AI or bring in the AI solution for this, that can bring a huge advantage, or it can reduce a lot of time and effectiveness, the quality in the work they produce. So that's where I feel the leaders can work more in getting the mindset shift in the QA, and also implementing the use cases, identifying the use cases which is really helpful to the team, and prioritize which use case we have to implement to ease our process, the testing process, and overall delivery time, end-to-end process. So prioritizing, identifying and prioritizing and leading the initiatives to implement those solutions, that's where leaders needs to play a key role.
Thank you. So like Mahesh highlighted about spotting the opportunities, the leaders now need to work on changing the mindset, encouraging the mindset of adopting AI, and then finding out which all use cases we can use AI, and that will bring better results. Good, thank you so much. So Mahesh, when we opened up this form for registering for this panel discussion, we also asked, do you have any question? And though people had a lot of questions, one question kind of topped the histogram. Will I lose my job to AI?
I think people would have heard about this hundreds and thousands of times. Will I lose my job? And obviously not. I mean, I don't have to repeat it, but I'll still repeat it. Nobody's going to lose their job, right? I mean, imagine when we had the horse cart, right? I mean, when cars came out, right? People were thinking, am I going to lose my job? What's going to happen to my job? How am I going to feed my family or whatnot, right? Everybody started shifting, right? The same thing is happening right now, right? With AI, nobody's going to lose the job. You're going to lose the job if you don't learn AI, if you don't learn how to make use of AI, right? If you don't do that, then you're going to lose your job, right? That's the first and the foremost thing. Second thing is, I mean, rather than looking AI as replacement, right? We have to look at AI as an assistant. I mean, I call AI as an assistant so that I can make use of my assistant with whatever I need, right? For example, right? If I'm doing testing, imagine that I'm doing testing where I need to write a piece of code, right? I'll ask my AI, right? I need an infrastructure where I need to test something. I'll ask my AI agent to create that, right? I need my assistant to analyze a report. I'll ask my agent, right? So likewise, I'm going to use literally, I'm going to literally use agent, wherever I need, right? But I'll still continue to be curious. I'll still continue to, build on my critical thinking. I'll still continue to build on my foundation, right? I mean, thinking, right? Thinking, being curious, right? Using heuristics, oracles, all the foundations that we need for a robust testing. I'll continue to use it. But where I'm going to use AI, wherever I need to speed up, wherever I can improve my productivity, wherever I can do my job much more efficiently, I'm going to literally start using, AI, right? There's not going to be anything that would stop me from doing it, right? So I would encourage everybody to build that mindset, right? So have that mindset, growth mindset where, you're going to work alongside with AI, right? And you're going to stand out in the crowd. You're going to have massive, massive opportunities. And trust me, like for example, we were talking about the other day how AI is going to democratize the whole product development, right? Now, product development is going to be very, very easy. Like how cameras, when integrated with phones, literally everybody turned to a photographer, right? In the same way, AI is going to democratize product development, and I'm sure testing would also happen in a similar fashion, right? So to save your job, learn AI, work with AI, and spot opportunities, and continue to build on that.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you. And Tony, one last question before we open rapid fire round with the panelists. See the expectation from AI, right? People seem to have either they are on the two extremes. AI will do all the magic. Okay, I don't have to put any effort. AI will do all magic. Or the other side, AI is useless. It cannot do what I can do. How do we deal with this expectation, and what is a good expectation to have with AI?
Okay. So as I said, I mean, for everything I assess it. Okay. So that's what I told you earlier as well. So now I'll give you a few pointers, and then the answer will probably come out of it. Now, let's take an example of Google or Microsoft or any other giant. Okay. Don't you think that though they have all the money in the world, they have all the uh, infrastructure available, all the people, all the talent, right? People are dying to join them. Okay. They have everything. And they have created such tools as well. They are almost equally powerful to control your computer, control your browser, all those stuff, right? But why they are not unleashing that? Okay. Because the reason is the cost of failure over there is far, far, far bigger than the cost of success. Okay. Let's say Microsoft have launched the um, UFO. There's a research paper on that, unified something automation. I don't remember, okay, the full form, but there is a research paper, and I was reading that research paper, and this research paper is almost 1.5 years old, okay, or maybe before that as well. Now, what it says is UFO will control all your browser, all like if you want to make PPT, it will open PPT and it will make PPTs the way we see the top class PPTs. And if you want to send an email and all those stuff, right? All those stuff, kind of an OS level AI. Okay.
Okay.
Um, that's where you can Google it, UFO from Microsoft. You will find. But what is the reason why these and about Google, right? 90% of the things on internet are controlled by Google, at least for our individuals like us, right? But what is something stopping them? Why they are still very much reluctant to do that? So the idea is they don't know the consequences. Okay, if something goes big failure, then that is going to be, we are saying we hear that, right? It's cost of humanity and all those stuff, right? That's where it is going. Now, speaking about the potential, it is now I think I have given you the answer now. Is in a way is that it is so powerful that it can do such things. Okay, that's one aspect. So it is useless. That is not going to happen. Okay, now why it is magical, but it is not up to the mark. This is the reason. Okay, that the cost of your image, your failure, or anything will be far, far, far beyond your success story. Okay, and that's how, and that's where uh, not everybody is in giant, but not everybody. I'm speaking about even giants, right? They are not unleashing things, even they are working upon, right? So in a way, even also they are balancing out and they are trying to identify what is, a threshold for everything, and that's where it lies. Now, I think I have given you in a way answer that this is always going to be within the limits of that threshold only, right? And then again, we all know that it is going to impact every field, each and every field, which is even QA as well, right? So that's where it is heading now. I would like to add a few points to enhance the answer for job loss as well. See, jobs and AI is very controversial and contradictory statement as well at the same point of time, right? So somebody will say job will increase, and somebody is saying job is going on. Same is for coding. Let's say people are saying coders will die, coding will die, and some of them are still saying you need to code to learn AI, right? So these are the contradictory and controversial statements. I still feel that personally that whatever job you are doing, consider it as your product, right? And just like every product, they try to give you more features. They try to bring things on table more, like a company, right? They are introducing chatbot because AI it's so far good at very good at chatbots, right? And then somebody speak about AI agent. So some companies are going beyond. They're introducing agent where they can book flight for you and all those stuff. What they are doing, they're nurturing their products, right? They are not killing their product, they are nurturing it. Likewise, you have to nurture your product. In this case, if you're a QA, you're a developer or whatnot, nurture it by providing more features, use AI as much as you can. Okay, but obviously it is still not there. It can, just like giants, it's for you only. If you completely rely on chat GPT and you bring something on the table which is a shit, right? Then that is going to harm you only, right? So that's where you also personally feel that okay, I am using chat GPT, that's okay. But whether what I'm doing,
Human oversight.
it's right or not. Yeah. So that's where there's a threshold point, and that's where about the jobs as well, it is not going anywhere, because I feel comparatively it's more investment happening um, uh, than in the history, I guess, right? Somewhere in the history of mankind. And that's where, if there is more budget, there will be more jobs. Obviously, that's how I see it, and more payments as well. So your salary, in fact, I see a salary hike when you adopt it. And as I said, the three thumb rules which I follow, right? Be a street smart, right? So if you are one of them, then definitely you will be on the bus which will pay you more, which will secure your job. But again, you need to be, very much up to that, where in your compounded shape, right? So
Okay.
that's, I just wanted to close that.
Sure. Thank you. This is wonderful. The last section is 5 quick questions, and try to answer it in less than 10 words each. So first question to Nithya, the source that you continue to refer to learn about AI.
It's Udemy courses, Coursera, and also following this entering deep learning, plus following those Sam Altman or Linux.
Got it. Tony, the first step to learn AI, where should people go?
um to learn AI, I think you must understand the transformer model in the first place, right? Obviously, I'm not speaking about programming. Programming is must, but anyway, transfer model, you understand that, and you will understand every model on top of it.
Got it. Nithya, the worst use case to implement using AI.
Use case. Okay.
Is thinking the answer.
Probably where the data is not enough available, because AI works on the data. When not enough data is there, it's the worst use case to pick up.
Got it. Tony, how do you use AI?
Yeah, so I use this as a companion, to be very honest. If just like if you're working on something, right? You talk to yourself, right? So I talk to AI tools so that I get more understanding, and it opens up some more points. So it's an assistant for me. Whether to pay or not, that's your call.
Got it. So looks like Mahesh is back, and let's end with a question to Mahesh. Mahesh, what's the best use case that you have used AI for?
Best use case. I mean, literally everything, right? I mean, like I said, let's assume how to test a card, right? Or payment. If I have to test a payment, the first and the foremost thing I'll start, thinking, how do I test this? What kind of heuristics, what oracles, and how do I come up with test ideas, what kind of test designs and everything, right? So once that thinking part is done, then it's time to offload everything else to the agents or AI, right? Write this piece of code for me, create the test data for me, do come up with a combination of coverage that can help me with this. Or, there is one use case that I can recall now where, in fact, we had done this even before AI. We always wanted to understand, where is the gap in terms of how testing team is testing in the pre-prod or testing environment versus how actual end users are testing in the prod environment. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to gather data where we're going to get a heat map that can compare and tell where is testing team not focusing on, right? So there could be a variety of ways where customers are heavily using a particular flow on a particular feature, which our testing team might not be thinking on those lines. So we used to kind of generate an heat map that would tell us, hey, testing team, you got to focus on this area. Hey, testing team, your coverage is lesser on this area, right? So that is something we used to do even before generative AI came in, or OpenAI came up. But now that we are augmenting more, we are building on that more, to really generate a lot more meaningful data and drive an more realistic way of testing.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nithya. Thank you, Toni. Thank you, Mahesh. And thank you to all the audience, known friends and new friends. Thank you very much for joining. And a rapid rundown of key points. Don't start anything without AI leaders. And tools are there, but they still need to progress further, make your work easier. Think of AI as assistants, have the right expectations, and keep yourself updated with the AI changes. Be street smart, be open to change, figure out opportunities, not just automation, but the various quality criteria like performance, accessibility, security as well. And the leaders need to motivate, and the hands-on folks need to learn AI. So thank you very much, and we'll keep you all posted about the next panel discussion or the AMA in the upcoming days. Thank you everyone for joining, and have a great evening and week ahead.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, all the panelists and
Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye for now.